Hello, my cookies. Welcome to Russell Cooks. Thanks so much for tuning in. Today, I have chocolate crinkle cookies. I love these. I tend to make them every year in December. If you don't know what a crinkle cookie is, it's essentially, these are going to be chocolate. It's almost like a brownie, coated with a thin layer of sugar that breaks apart and leaves nice little craggles in the middle during baking. They're delicious, they're great, they're easy. You know, maybe it's a wintertime treat because it looks like it's been dusted with snow. First things first, let's gather our ingredients. It's gonna be a lot, but bear with me. These are quick, easy, and delicious. You are going to need all-purpose flour, granulated sugar, confectioner's sugar, light brown sugar. You could also do dark brown if you want. Vanilla, butter, eggs, baking powder, baking soda, unsweetened cocoa powder. Now you can do natural or Dutched. I got Dutched. Unsweetened chocolate. This is unsweetened chocolate bar. And of course, optional instant espresso powder. This makes chocolate pop. So I'm gonna add a little bit, but I understand if you're feeding it to kids, you might not wanna get them sugared and caffeinated at the same time. That makes sense. That makes sense. Now that we've gathered all our ingredients, let's get started. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna combine our dry ingredients. Now this means the all-purpose flour I got going on here. I'm gonna do 1 cup all-purpose flour. I'm going to do half a cup of unsweetened cocoa powder. I'm gonna do 1 teaspoon baking powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, then about a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. If you're using kosher, go up a little bit, maybe 3/4 of a teaspoon. Gonna whisk all this together. Up next, we are going to do 1.5 cups of packed brown sugar. If you watch me, you know how much I love my vanilla extract, so I'll do maybe a scant tablespoon here. For my espresso powder, again, you can adjust this the way you want it. If you want to put it in a teaspoon, great. If you want to put it in a tablespoon, even better. I'm going to do about a tablespoon. 2 massive heaping teaspoons. Let's call that a tablespoon. All right, and finally, I'm going to do 3 eggs. So this, as you guessed it, is our wet ingredients. We haven't finished them yet. We got to get to the butter and the chocolate. We will get there in a second. Let's whisk this all around. Smell that coffee, that sweetness from the sugar, a little bit of alcohol from that vanilla extract, and then of course the vanilla itself. I wonder whether a little bit of rum in here would be nice. Maybe not for the kids, but for me. We have our butter and our chocolate. I got a 4-ounce bar here of unsweetened chocolate. I'm gonna be chopping it up and I'm gonna be combining it with 4 tablespoons of butter, and I'm just gonna melt it in the microwave, 50% power, until it's melted and smooth. Stir it every 15 to 30 seconds. And I'm gonna start with 2 minutes. We'll see how long it takes. Now, in the meantime, I have preheated my oven to 325 degrees. I've set the rack in the middle. I'm gonna make enough cookies for 2 trays, but I'm only gonna cook 1 at a time. I'm gonna rotate it halfway through cooking. I have lined 2 baking sheets with tin foil. You can also use parchment, silicone pad, doesn't matter. You don't even have to line it, but I'm doing it. This makes cleanup a little easier. All right, now that we have our chocolate and butter melted, I'm gonna get it into our liquid ingredients here, the sugar, the egg, the vanilla, etc. Gonna whisk it in. It's like so chocolatey and rich, it just smells decadent. All right, whisk until smooth here. Time for our dry ingredients. I'm just gonna put this over top. I'm just gonna whisk it so there's no dry streaks. Should end up looking like a brownie batter. It's time for the rubber spatula. Fold it in. I'm not too worried about over mixing here. I just wanna get it so that there's no dry streaks. And then we're gonna let it sit and relax and hydrate for about 10 minutes. In that time, it'll firm up a little bit. Is exactly what we need and want. Perfect. Now I'm just going to set this aside, let it sit for about 10 minutes. For this next part, you are going to need about a 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. Put it in a shallow dish. That's it. You're also going to need about a 1/2 cup of confectioner's sugar. You're going to put it in this other dish. And we're going to roll it in the sugar. That'll kind of give it some nice, craggly, crispy topping. The granulated sugar, and then we roll in the confectioner's sugar, and that gives us their nice dusting on top. All right, it's been about 10 minutes. I've let the dough rest. I am gonna scoop it. I'm gonna do about 2 tablespoons per. Roll it into a ball, get it in my granulated sugar, and get it into my confectioner sugar, and get it on my sheet pan. I'm gonna try and get 12 on this pan, and hopefully I have enough left over for 12 more. Two, 4, 6, 8. I guess we'll do 9 on each baking sheet. Let's make 18 cookies, not 24. All right, so we have about 9 cookies on one tray. We're gonna make a total of 18. I'm gonna put these in. They're gonna cook for about 12 minutes. Middle rack, 325. This is important. Rotate it halfway through cooking. All right, let's bake this while we make our second sheet. Let's rotate these. It's been about 6 minutes. All right, I said about 12 minutes. We're gonna take a look at them. They need a minute longer. They need a minute longer. You want the edges of the cookie to kind of be solidified. You're not really gonna see any browning here. These are obviously dark chocolate cookies, but hopefully you'll be able to tell that the exterior, the ring, if you will, is starting to harden and turn firm. All right, we got our cookies. Let's pull them out. Now, oh, these look perfect. These are stunning. Now they are puffed. They're a little bit domed. That is because they are ripping hot. They just came out of the oven. Let the air settle. Let them sink back down. They're going to be flat. They might even be a little concave in the middle. That's fine. But look at all these nice little craggly bits. Look at all these snow-capped mountains we got here. All right, let's get our next ones in. Get a Christmas platter out. Gotta rotate these. Now for my favorite part. Get to taste it. And remember, we use an unsweetened chocolate bar here. Now that's important because remember, we rolled it around in 2 different types of sugar. And then we also put in light brown sugar inside of it. 3 different types of sugar. You don't need to add a 4th with a semi-sweet or even bittersweet chocolate bar. You want it unsweetened. You don't want that cloying sweetness. Every bite that I take, I'm gonna get a little bit of sweetness right in the beginning. That's delicious. Right off the bat, the exterior, top and bottom, it's a little craggly, it's a little crunchy. It's got that coating that the granulated sugar gave us. And then the confectioner sugar gave us the white, so we get a layer of sweet. And then you get the texture, you start chewing, and the flavors start coming out, and it finishes with this amazingly robust chocolate flavor. There's no other description for it. It's not dark chocolate, light chocolate, it's all of it. It's just crispy on the outside, soft, chewy, fudgy in the middle. This is what a crinkle cookie should be. Love this with a tall glass of milk. Maybe leave these out for Santa. Santa will appreciate it. I gotta tell my kids. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. I'll see you next time. Take care.